All right, so welcome. You're still watching Prime Morning. The name's Jay Foley. We are still in the final hour of the show. Now, on Mondays, we do something we call our big interview. And our big interview is specially designed to host personalities and influencers and people who one way or the other contributes immensely to our society. Now this morning, it's an honor to have Nol Wulomo III. He's the Nol Wulomo of the highest chief priest of the Ga state. And he joins me here this morning for my big interview. Nol, if I can say that.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to Prime Morning.
Thank you.
It's an honor to have you here.
Yes, I'm honored to be here with you.
For me, it's an experience I know I'm going to have in a conversation with you. This is the closest I'll probably even get to having a chat with a personality like you. First off, we are even grateful for you to honor our invitation to be here this morning.
Good, I'm a pleasure too.
There are lots of things I want to discuss with you today, but in understanding your role, your purpose, in the Ga state. But even before we get into all those discussions, it's only right that we get to understand and get to know you personally better. And that's what our profiling does this morning for us. So Ghanaians can get to know growing up as a man and the person before us and the life challenges, experiences, and all the wisdom we can share with us this morning. So let's start off with you. Let's get to know who you are. If anybody walked up to you and of the title you carry and wanted to get to know, how would you describe yourself?
Well,
what kind of man are you?
Yes, I'm a very simple and easy to approach person. I'm quite very calm. I'm very understanding. I'm not that aggressive. But I believe in nature, so everything that I do is in connection with nature and then humanity. Now, Nol Wulomo, before Nol Wulomo, I was a teacher, I was an event planner, I did few professional jobs. I have a little background of IT, and then lo and behold, it is an inheritance.
So I was going to ask, but now you've given us a very broad overview. I like that. We're going to dig deeper into it. Did these attributes and values contribute to you becoming, to attaining the highest chief priest of the Ga state?
No.
Okay.
Because what I said earlier is my personal, my individual profile. But to talk of me being the highest chief priest of the Ga state, it's an inheritance. It is more or less a state and a family inheritance when it is your turn. And then you have no option than just to oblige by the conditions that is stick to it. Now, just as this office is not an office that we can say we have to democratically vote for. It is a deity, it's an inheritance, it's a family set-up office which stands tall here in the Ga state, because the Nol Wulomo office is not an office that somebody will see as a mere office, but traditionally, Nol Wulomo's office is a father to the government himself, traditionally. But as time goes on, and then we've adopted the chieftaincy system, and then looking at the current constitution, the constitution deals much with chiefs, doesn't deal with Wulomo, because Wulomo happens to be found only in the Greater Accra region. So, to my understanding, there cannot be a constitution which is made for Wulomo only in Greater Accra. By so doing, the chiefs has to frontier the governing body of the traditional set of the Ga state.
We're going to come deeper into that conversation. Let's throw you back to childhood memories and times when you were growing up. What kind of family did you come come from or born into?
Yeah, I was born into a very good family, a Ghana family. My dad was a professional teacher himself.
Oh, so you followed suit.
My mom is a trader.
Okay.
Later in my dad's life, he was made a chief.
Okay.
And then it was an honor that was given to him by the Sempe people.
Okay.
Because of how my dad was able to lead them to have a traditional battle.
So he didn't inherit?
He didn't inherit. My dad is purely an heir to the Nairobi throne.
Okay.
So the chieftaincy title was given to him. But naturally, he doesn't even want it as a chief, because everything that he does, he says he's doing that in the name of humanity and for God and for posterity. My mom is a trader and still a trader.
Were you the only child?
To my mom, yes.
Okay.
But to my dad, it's a polygamous family.
Okay.
So my dad married few women, and then my mom happens to be the last wife.
Okay. How was it like growing up, you know, in such a family?
There were no difficulties. There was peace, there was love, there was respect. Because my dad is a principled man. He believes in principles. When he says 9 is 9, you can't change the time.
Old man.
The old man himself. And then what has made me feel comfortable in life now is the training he gave to us.
Okay.
He gave us a way not to expect favors from others, but we should fight for our own favor. We should be able to fend for ourselves. We shouldn't be depending on people to live, but we should make sure that whatever we go through to make life best for ourselves, we should do it. My dad is more a spiritual person. So he believes in nature, believes in you, he believes in the law of karma, he believes in everything.
How did that impact your life as a child? How did you handle that?
Now, I can't say my dad loves me more than the rest of the siblings. But I was the last one to my dad, and then the first to my mom. So it's like anything at all my dad does, it's me. Because the age difference between my brother that I'm directly following is quite huge.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like someone would say a pension baby at that time. So my dad used to move in and out with me. So everything that he does, I get to know much, and then it gives me much more courage, much more training to believe in myself, to be more courageous in anything I do. And I should be able to know that God exists, and apart from God, there is no other person.
From the way you sound, I mean, it is said that a boy's best friend is the mother, but on your side, it sounds like your best friend was your dad.
Both. I can't choose any of them, but they are wonderful people. The love was shared
equally.
They were wonderful people that I believe if every home should have such parents, then would have good ones all out.
Let's talk about educational background. So your early days in school, what school did you attend? I want to know your favorite teachers and subjects, and what you shared interest in most.
Yes, my dad was a Roman type.
Okay.
So I have lots of schools that I attended that. Because he was transferred from one state to the other. When the moment he moved, I moved. And then I changed schools because of he relocates, then I have to change the school. So I started my school in a hybrid international school. I later on moved to the Western region. Someone once said you also attended schools there. I came back to Accra and then attended the Anglican, a whole lot.
Wow.
Before I was able to, I think we were the second batch of the JSS at that time.
At that time.
Was second batch, and then during those times, the private schools were not having the JSS mandate to write the BEC at that time. So when you pass through the private school, you have to be enrolled into the government sector for you to be able to write the BEC exams. And that is what we all did at that time.
What was your favorite subject?
My favorite subject was English. We have social studies, technical and cultural studies.
Wow, that showed me that you are more of the reading person than a math person.
Yes, I'm more of a reader. And then I have more interest in the technical subject too. As well. Because sometimes I'm very creative in this technical field because I don't learn and then I start doing something. I don't really learn. I don't need to be trained to do anything. I just start, look at you doing something, the next minute I'll be doing the same thing.
As a child, are there any fondest memories of yourself that you can share with us? Either be it moments at home that's, you know, I remember personally, my mom would tell me that I would lock them out of the house and I would be in the house. Are there any memories that you do recall as a child growing up that either one or the other inspired who you became or who you are today, either as someone attaining the highest, you know, as a chief priest of the land of the Ghana state, or personally as, you know, in your career as work as an IT person, teacher?
The whole lot. You see, the whole thing is, the family setup itself is quite, the tension was so high because...
I can imagine.
You see siblings from different mothers, but when you are one step ahead of us or one step away from us, you wouldn't be able to identify as to who and who comes from the same mother. But what I believe, what I realize I can even recollect it now, it's when I was growing up and then my big brothers were there. You could realize that they were all boys with one girl, so about 9 boys.
Wow.
8 boys with one girl. You see, it's a macho house, if I should say.
Protective of their sister.
Yes. And then my sister wasn't living with us because she was with her mom at that time, so we're all boys in the house. And then we have cousins who are also boys. We have family friends who also. My dad has raised a lot of people, aside his biological children, his brother's children, his friends' children. You can see most of the guys around who maybe more might not have less privilege, if I should say, excuse my words, in terms of accommodation or shelter. They just come to the house and then my daddy openly welcomed them. So it's like we had a very broad family. And then you could see that my name at that time, they call me AB. So you hear them shouting, AB come, AB this, AB batashi, teshi. Some will carry them on their shoulders, they'll be knocking me. I quite remember there was a time my mom sent me and then to an errand and I refused to go. And then my brother locked me in the room. At that time, we have the CD and the PDC system.
This is okay.
In the revisionist system. And then there was a PDC office in my house where they used to lock few people who have who have one way or the other caught by the laws at that time. So we have a small, I can't say ghetto, but it was a garage that they used to detain people. And then I remember my big brother was saying, and they called me. And then they called me, they locked me in the room with other, at that time we said they are criminals. So I was pushing and then locked with them. And I was in the room and I was shouting, beating the door, and then some of them were also laughing. Some of them, they carried me on their shoulders. Even though they've been caught in unsane acts in the room, they were so carry at that time. But the idea at that time, oh, my name is Wulomo, my name is Juloni. And then I was with them in their cells at that time. Oh, believe you me, it wasn't an easy thing. I can imagine. And then you can see my mom shouting, you can see that. Let my son bring my baby out. And my brothers were all very aggressive. Just like They are not bringing me up to be so much aggressive. You see, I am a very calm type.
I can tell.
See, yes. And then,
so for you to be caught up in such a moment,
you could realize. And then one very moment too, I realized when I was very young, my dad was then the liaison officer to the ex-president of Champo, head of state.
Okay.
So he was working in the castle at that time, and I was using a car. That was my early stages in school, and then sometimes my dad would let the driver send me to school with a police officer open the door for me to step out in school at that time. And then you could see that the moment I step out of the car and then go to all the teachers, everybody. My name is Abraham.
Okay, let me hold you on that. Let's fast forward a little bit. So after your primary school education, I want to understand the point when this was enrolled onto you, or when you were informed that you are next in line. Yes,
after my primary school, my JHS, or let me say the elementary part is completed, I got myself in so many secondary schools at that time, but where I had the school was Homestead Tech, where I was supposed to go, and then some few things came up. I have to change, come back to Accra. And when I was growing up, I can't say I was a sickler at that time, but I now and then I'm sick. Very often I got, so it's like everywhere my parents would have to move. But after my secondary education, and then I got enrolled online with the Demonsfort University, Denmark, which I was practicing. It's quite funny if I should say this, because I was more into beauty. You understand? So that was what I was trying to do at that time. So I had my first year, and then working, and then I had to work with my wife in the shop. My wife is also a beautician. I was working with her in the shop, braiding hair, fixing nails.
So you know all that?
I know all that. I do lots of events planning and deco, all kind of bridal decos, events, all corporate hampers, everything concerning events, and then beauty is what I was into. So I quite remember I've worked for some few people. I can't remember them, but it's a business actually. When I started my tertiary, that is distance. One at, and then I was busy, and then one day my dad called me to ask me, you know where we are all coming from? You know our family? And I said, yes. We are this and that. We come from Naiwe, that is the house of the highest chief priest of the Ghana state. And then the custodian of the Ghana tradition, and then the ruler of the sea deity, and this kind of thing were all there. And I said, yes. Now, would you like to become Nol Wulomo? And I told my dad, these things are meant for people who deserves that position. And then looking at it, it's more of a spiritual than physical. It's more of a traditional and cultural affiliated office than normal social, let's say, activities. So my dad called me. That was, if I should say, that was 2010. Then my immediate predecessor has passed away. Yes. I never knew I would be Nol Wulomo, but I knew for sure I'm a royal. So my mind wasn't telling me, one day you become. But the most
So how did you receive the news?
It wasn't announced to me actually. But my dad invited me home one day. And then he said, we're having a family meeting at our family house, which is Naiwe. So we should all go. During those times, we've had discussions as to, it is our turn it is his turn to give a son out. But I was believing him at sending his elder ones, but not me. But one day, and they said we should have a meeting at the family house. And I love football. I love football very well. So I finished playing the Monday Stars ball, and then he invited me home and said, oh, let's go for a meeting. So we just went there. I was with my brother, my mom, and then my cousins. So it's a family meeting. So when we got to the house, they said, oh, the meeting wasn't to be held in the family house, but the next of the house, a next house, family house, which is quite close to the Salaga market. So we should all wait there. So when I went there, they left me there talking to my cousins and then my aunties. The next minute, they said I should come. Fine.
Wow. So
I just walked to the house. I wasn't feeling anything. I was not suspicious of any action. So when I got to the house, and then the family head at that time was there. There were chiefs.
Yes.
So I thought it's more or less a meeting that we are going to discuss as to who is next.
Next. Which you least expected it was you.
Not knowing everything was done, and that day was the day that begins my confinement.
Wow.
So from the work, I went to play football. From the football park to Naiwe, and now is this.
Wow. Wow.
That was in 2012, September 12.
That must have been a journey for you. Now, when this was bestowed upon you, what was required of you at that time?
Yes, it's full commitment, and then very loyal and patriotic, because I don't know, but I could say the media setup now, one way or the other, knows much about the current position of the Ghana state pertaining to our chieftaincy system, our traditional and festival activities. As the Accra itself is now a cosmopolitan, so you can see that there are a whole lot of challenges, and then there are a whole lot of misinformations, and then the way people understand the Ghana culture. So this has been the role that I need to play, and also to make sure that during my reign, the Ghana state should have its flags hosted high as it was before, and then to make sure the peace and then the cultural and then the festivities of the Ghana people, it's sustained and then well patronized. So it isn't much about you being the highest chief priest, just a title for you to be moving up and about. It comes with a responsibility. It comes with a responsibility to make sure that you preserve and protect the people of the Ghana and then the office at large.
We're going to come deeper into the responsibilities and get a clearer understanding. If you just joined us live on Joy Prime this morning, so of course it's Monday, and our big interview this morning, I'm honored to have Numu Akwamense III, Nol Wulomo, the highest chief priest of the Ghana state, join me this morning for a conversation as we profile him as well. So this is now bestowed upon you.
Yeah.
Let's drill down to what exactly you do. Is it during state functions? Is it during functions, events associated with the Ghana traditional state? And what do you exactly do during those times?
Yes, to make it very simple, I want to detail it a bit.
Yes.
Within Naiwe, Nol Wulomo is the head of the entire Naiwe family, who sees to the affairs of the family. Even though we might have the leaders of the different gates that forms Naiwe. From Naiwe, someone can become Gamanche. The late Bonini Amugi II is from Naiwe. And then the Amugi name is also a Naiwe family name.
Okay.
Yes. So you could see we have a slogan in our traditional setup that we say, Odiohini Odisofu, meaning you are a chief and then you are a priest at the same time.
Okay.
So Nol Wulomo's office is like that. Now, when you come to the entire Nile state, Nol Wulomo is a state priest.
Okay.
And a ceremonial priest.
Okay.
In terms of state functioning, which will be held here in Accra, all libations and all traditional activities, which involves the Ghana people in the interest of the states that is being organized here in Accra, is being led by the Nol Wulomo.
So let me ask, I know there are certain appellations and certain prayers and, during point of libations. How did you have to learn all that when it was put on you when you least expected it, even though you had an idea it might come?
Yes. You've been groomed. That's why you're being confined. So during that period, you've been taken through the processes of what you are to do, what you're not to do, and then what to say. You've been given the strength, the courage to pour libation, to pray, what is expected of you, and all these appellations you're being taken through. When you're able to master them before they outdoor you. And then
is it intensive?
Yes, it's very intensive, very, very intensive, because it takes about 14 to 21 days to go through this confinement. Now, when you are not the rightful heir to the throne, all these processes you cannot go through. You can't complete it. But mine was very fast, because I was even surprised. I was able to catch up fast, and then so within 2 weeks I was outdoors.
During that moment, you are not supposed to, or after, are you allowed to still be an IT person? Are you still allowed to be a teacher?
No, you are just, but I can't say you've been retired, but you've been restrained from all these things. You remain Nol Wulomo and become Nol Wulomo, a priest, till the end of your own time here on earth. But somebody would say you can have businesses in your name, which is being manned by people that you trust. But you being active in those things is not allowed by tradition.
Your appearance, let's also understand this. This is one of the most beautiful, rich traditional outfits you can also get. Now, I want to understand the choice of the white and its meaning and what it symbolizes.
Yes. Now, white, as we Africans or we the Ghanaians knows, as everything white is very pure and clean and holy. But scientifically, white also builds you up. It repairs heat, so it makes you feel very cold and then very warm, like in between. That you don't sweat and then you don't even feel cold. And then it also makes you become so gentle, character-wise, because you're afraid of soiling your garments. So you'll be so much careful as to what to do, where to go, and how to walk, what to touch and what not to touch.
Is this regardless of the appearance, whether it's a funeral or whether it's any other festival that is being celebrated?
Now, you remain in white till you are no more.
Wow.
And then every priest has nothing to do with funeral, because we don't believe in death.
Tell me more.
Now, here on earth, you don't die. We believe in transition. But we don't believe in death. When you believe in death, then it means death comes to end someone's life. But we believe in life after death, and then the existence of our forefathers. Transition. So you move from one stage to the other. Now, when somebody is dead in quotes, as we all know, to me, I would say the person has just transited from one stage to the other, from the physical world to the spiritual world. So when you're even pouring libations and then you're praying, people don't know that libation is a form of prayer traditionally. It's not an incantation, no. It's not an enchantment, no. It is purely prayer, because you pray to ask for everything that any ordinary person will pray to ask, but there are very significant ones that is expected of you. For instance, you pray for peace, you pray for advancements, you pray for longer life, health. If there are problems, there are calamities, there are things that are before the people, you have to pray for all those things. So we don't believe in death, we believe in life.
So you're in white till you are off the roll. Also, I want to understand the bare feet, the symbol of the bare feet.
The symbol of the bare feet is the connection between you and the Mother Earth through your Creator Himself. Now, when even you look into the Bible, when Moses was approaching God as God commanded, when he was approaching where to pick the 10 commandments, God asked him to remove his sandals because the ground on which his foot is stepping on is a holy ground. But the guys, to take you a little bit back, the guys, we are Levites, we are Jews, we are descendants of Aaron. You understand? So the Levites are the people that God blessed with the everlasting kinship. And then we have the two offices that is found in the Jewish land. That is the staff and then the rod.
Okay.
And then the staff is for the chief and then the rod is for the priest. The rod is a little bit higher than the staff.
Okay. Because
the priests are the spiritual and then the let's say the spiritual fathers of the land. And then they ordained and bestowed chiefs into offices. So all chiefs here on the Ghana land is a priest is a father to all chiefs here on the Ghana land. But constitutionally or democratically, people see the chiefs to be the topmost office in the society. But within the Ghana setup, the traditional office, when you're starting the traditional office, the hierarchy of office in the Ghana setup, you start from the priests and then the chiefs.
Does that bring about sometimes any disparities or any misunderstandings of any sort of how the Constitution sees and how governance sees, you know, the hierarchy and how the hierarchy itself sees itself?
Yes. But as I said earlier on, I wouldn't like to talk much about that because these officers remains within the 4 barriers of the Ghana state, which it doesn't go beyond. So if there's a constitutional articles which are made for us, then it's a cheat to their people who don't even have the priest or the priesthood set up in their traditional system. You understand?
Okay. Okay. Let me ask this about food. Are you restricted in terms of anything you eat or do?
Yes. There are a whole lot of restrictions. Some are very open, some are not open, because there are some that you take an oath with. There are some too that remains in the house.
Okay.
And then there are some too that remains in our altars. So we don't take them out. But the general ones that we all know, it's you don't eat overnight food.
Wow.
Now, we don't take salt.
Wow.
Because if you are the priest of the sea, and then from the sea that you have salt, no amount of salt that is from outside will be enough for you.
Okay.
So you don't take it at all, let the world take it. And then there's a particular fish we don't take. And then you don't eat from certain areas. Food from funerals, you don't eat them. Anything that has got to do with funeral, you don't partake at all. That's got to do with somebody, ladies, especially during their menstrual, they don't even come closer to you. They don't wash for you. So who cooks for Nol Wulomo is somebody who is beyond menopause.
Okay.
And then they do the cooking and then they do the upkeep of the Nol Wulomo, because you can't let those in their menstrual period to be working for them and all other priests that you may see around.
I'm going to ask you about how you had to switch into this new life and how you received it, how you were able to adapt it. But before that, let's talk about the Homowo, because we're talking about food. Let's talk about the Homowo and how important it is to the chief priest.
Yes, it's much important because it's one one-time priority to the chief priest and the Ghana people, because Homowo is the largest festival for the Ghana people, and that is what has made the Ghanaians to be known worldwide. Now, Homowo, it's a period that we celebrate and then give thanks to God and our ancestors for giving us food during the time of migration from the Egypt through Ethiopia, part of Nigeria, Benin, Togo, and then here. From that ancestral saying, there was a time that there was a great famine that bestowed the Ghana people, and then the priests, as Nol Wulomo at that time, prayed, fasted and prayed and asked God for directions. And then he prayed, and then there was 2 corn into the arms, and then millet, few ones. And then that time there was a drought, that there was no raining. So there was no food. So they have to pray for rain so that whatever they cultivate can produce abundantly. And yes, we did the same thing. So the period of this prayer and fasting is when we start the ban on drumming and noise making. This period, everybody is to keep silence. You don't go, the married ones will not go to their wives. We have nothing to do with funerals. You don't eat, you don't eat root food. Food which grows in the soil. You don't eat them. And then you don't eat, you don't drink alcohol, you don't shave. You just become so natural. Like that for 31 days. And then this was the direction which was given to the priests at that time, and it was followed accordingly. Lo and behold, there was enough rain, enough food for everybody to eat, for neighbors, for it was all over. And then they had to give thanks and praise to God and ancestors. That's why when we prepared the pokwe too was a directive food.
Which I was going to ask, why how do you call it again?
Pokwe.
Why that?
Yes, you see, it is made out of unfermented corn. Corn flour. When you read Exodus 12, you see all these things there. So what we do is not, somebody would say it's a fetish something. It's quite biblical because I don't believe the Bible was written after the Ghanaians were settled here, but the Bible was brought to us here, and then the contents affirmates most of the things that we do. Now, unfermented corn is used. There is a Passover night, and then whatever goes on during that time, a Passover ceremony at that time goes on here in Accra as part of our Homowo festival. Where we kill the lamb and use the blood for the doors of all the Jewish. We also do it. We were doing it before Christianity. So you could realize that if we should say we are part of the Jewish, there is no doubt about that. Our names, some of our Ghana words are still the same way. They mention it, the pronunciation, the spelling, the meaning is the same. The way we prepare altars, the same way they also do their altars. What we do, and then the white. Now I'll go back to the white again, like the what I'm wearing. The hat I'm wearing comes with a very powerful meaning. Nobody is allowed to see my hair till I transit from this world to the other world.
Wow.
Yes. You can see that it comes in layers. About 7 layers. It represents the 7 quarters of the Ghana state.
Oh, so it's not just a design.
It's not just a design. And then each layer comes in 52 slides.
Oh, wow.
And then 52 weeks makes 1 year.
Yes. So you have a period of 7 years.
Not 7 years. 1 layer is a year.
It's a year.
And then 1 layer represents 1 state, 1 quarter of the Ghana state. Why is it 52? During the ancient time, Nol Wulomo doesn't repeat its garment, its outfit. One dress, one day.
Wow.
What he puts on today, the moment he takes it off,
that's it.
That's it, to the end of time. But you realize that during those times, situations were not all that tough, things were not all that hard, and there were people who were weaving the garments, but as we grow in civilization, and then a little decline from our tracks as the guys or sticking to the tradition, a little declining system, movement came in. So they have to adjust a system that will be more comfortable and less cost effective. You understand? So I put on this. So one slide stands for one day.
One day.
So one layer is for 1 year. That does not mean I have to wear this cap once or the whole year. I have close to, since I became Nol Wulomo, I have close to about 4,000 or 5,000 of this. Yes, stuck in my room, because I also believe in changing it. I also believe in keeping to the directions of my.
So does it mean that, okay, in as much as, yes, you follow the principles and the rules and regulations, you don't show your head, you cut your hair?
Not really often.
Okay.
I do cut my hair when it's necessary.
But it's not done in the open, is it?
It's not done in the open, and then when that will be done, it's also a procedure, something. It's not just somebody coming to cut, but you have to pass through.
So is there somebody who's assigned?
Oh yes, there's somebody who's assigned.
Wow.
If incidentally that person is not available, the next person that comes, all the processes that that person will have to pass through processes before even seeing my hair and then touching it, to the extent of even cutting it down.
Are you allowed to share some of these processes?
I can give you just a little.
Like?
A little of when the person comes, he goes through an intensive process. The person has to be clean.
Okay.
We have to clean the person traditionally. And then before the person touch my hair, I have to put money on the ground for the person to step on it with the 2 feet. Before even taking my the headgear off for the person to touch my hair.
Is there a reason why the person must stand on the money?
Yes, because we believe that all that we are doing, all the blessings, everything that we are doing, when you touch my hair, you should go out and become rich.
Wow.
So I put the money to give you a startup.
Okay.
You step on it to give you a startup, so that after cutting my hair, when you step out, you become more rich.
Let me go to the food again. we came to the clothing. Let's go back to the food. Is there a reason why it's sprinkled around? I just have a few minutes left.
Yes, there's a reason. It's sprinkled around to show appreciation to God and our ancestors.
Okay.
That we have an abundant food to give to all other people, including animals, and then people in the other part of the world.
The name or title Numu Akwa Mensah III, just give me a little quick background as to that particular name. I do believe that is not the name. That's not the name that was born, given to you at birth.
My birth name is Abraham Yatekwe Ananyati.
Okay.
That is my birth name. And then Numu Akwa Mensah III is his true name.
There's 2 names.
When you come to Nigeria, there are 3 gates.
Okay.
So you would not have one particular name for Nigeria. You have 3 names. You have Numu Akwa Mensah, you have Numu Yaute, and then you have Numu Tete. My immediate past Nol Wulomo was Numu Tete III.
Okay.
I have come as Numu Akwa Mensah III from my gate. And then when I'm no more, the next gate from which the Nol Wulomo will come will have a stool name by Numu Yaute III. Yes.
Wow. Honestly, I wish I had an extra hour. I have so many questions to ask, but this is all that time would allow me. It's been an honor talking to you. You shared so much insights in there. You mentioned football. Any teams you like in
Is it the Premiership?
The Premiership, yes.
Locally, I'm a phobia fan.
Okay.
And then internationally, in Europe, I believe
Arsenal.
No, Arsenal. I'm a City fan.
Okay. And I know there are games are coming up. Real quickly, let's talk about Chalewote Festival. And I see the Ghana State has really taken on this event as well, has embraced it strongly. You want to speak about that?
Yes, Chalewote, the name alone gives us more joy. It gives us some kind of courage and in future aspirations pertaining to the name alone. Now, Chalewote comes with so many things, and then the timing alone itself makes us so proud because it brings people from all walks of life, people from the other parts of the world to see how the Homowo is celebrated, and then Chalewote is inculcated into it so that as the Homowo is going on, there is a tourism attraction is going on, and then people are getting to know the Ghana people more. But it's rather unfortunate this year. The COVID has disrupted. But we believe very soon, in the absence of COVID, we would be able to bounce back with Chalewote. And then the organizers are also Ghans. So it is purely that.
Wow. Well, you've heard a bit of our conversation. There's more to discuss, but that's what time will just allow us. I've been talking to Nol Wulomo the third, Nol Wulomo, and he's been my guest this morning on our big interview. Before I go though, real quickly, today being a Monday, Mondays and Thursdays with cheesy pizza with only 49 Ghana cedis. Guess what? You can get one small pizza, fries, chicken, and one cola drink at all the branches. Call 0264-133-397. 0264-133-397. Cheesy pizza, your way. Thank you so very much. It's an honor to have this conversation with you. We've learned so much. And I'm looking forward to, how do I put it? So with all other things, other skills that you've acquired, I'm still wondering how you play those roles, or if you share interest in those roles, or sometimes you feel like visiting those roles. Yes,
sometimes I do. Sometimes when I see people working and I see that, I still feel like
getting involved,
revisiting those, because their skills are still there, the enthusiasm is there, the ideas are there. But you see, it's my destiny. I can't change that. And I believe everybody should.
Of your commitment.
Yes, it's my commitment. I have to fulfill my part of the commitment to my society.
Does this mean your children would also take on?
Yeah, my grandchildren would automatically. It's a next generational inheritance.
Can you turn it down?
Oh wow.
Wow.
That will be so difficult. That will be so difficult because I can't deny anything from where I'm coming from. And I'm so proud to be a Ghanaian. I'm so proud to be Nairobi. I'm so proud to be an African. And I believe we should all try to get back to our roots.
I'm being told I have to go now, but thank you so very much. Thank you so much. We're back here same time tomorrow. The week just started. We have more of this coming on Friday morning. So tune in 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. every single morning. We'll be right here with you.